If they if they are doing that, then they had to have just started doing that today. Cause I was there yesterday, and I picked up some stuff, and then like, um, I picked up a video game for my girl's kid. Cause man, she's been like just taking over my PlayStation like for, you know what I mean. So I'm like, I gotta do something. Yeah. So, but like when I was walking around and stuff, cause I tried to buy a board game and I bought a puzzle, and like, so I bought a puzzle and a video game, and yeah, I didn't see anything boarded off. Now that's not to say they didn't do that last night and they're doing it right now. Damn, I like this. This thing is badass. Just gotta get faster casting. That's what I need. Damn, this soul rend is amazing. Dude, I'm literally like, I'm at a spot where it's kind of hard, these guys, but like literally I just watched the soul rend like touch an enemy and just, it's like watching, I mean, you literally just watch the red bar just. Yeah. Yeah, I've used Contagion in one of my characters because like Tony was like, you gotta use it. I'm like, okay. Oh, like Deathmark or whatever. Really?
To kill a
Mister. Enough. It's the neighbors, bro. My dog like just looks for any reason to bark. Finally hit Act 4. Yeah, I'm getting there. I still need a, I need some golem, gems, but I don't know why I haven't gotten them yet. But once I have them, I'm gonna really just fly through this. Because I've already unlocked all this part of the skill tree, so I can automatically, right off the bat, I'll have 2. Ooh. Get away from me. Yeah. Oh, I believe it. Dude, I'm telling you what, with my zombies, right now I've got like 6 zombies, and then I can pull out like 8 skeletons and 20 flaming souls. But like right now I like the flaming souls, but what I'm like I said, I'm using is the soul rend. But if I come across a character who like is really resistant to chaos damage, then I just go back to the flaming skulls and just overwhelm them with people. Yeah. So it's been working out really well. Really? It just automatically does it? I know, if Tony would get back on, I told him, I was like, yo, I got some legendary swords for you that are dope as fuck. Shoot, honestly, I couldn't tell you because I haven't talked to Tony. I haven't been on in a few days. Like, I've been, like, hardcore just grinding it out, trying to finish Breaking Bad. Yeah, I'm in the last season, and I just got through episode 1 of season 5, so. And then, because I finished Better Call Saul. Which that one was actually, I liked Better Call Saul. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them both, but I don't know. I don't know why I like it. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to see El Camino. Did you like it?
Bye bye.
Okay, so
What is it, Exile?
so this lady's selling weapons.
Welcome. Yes?
Alright, so I guess I gotta go do some mission stuff. Which one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to get some, that's my next one I'm gonna be doing.
How do I keep ending up in such lovely places?
Yeah, I like these flaming souls because they seek out the enemies and it don't matter where you fire them from. Yeah. And like I said, the soul ren's good, but you got it's. I like it when there's no obstacles in the way. That's when it work. It works the best. That's the soul rend. Oh, is it? Yeah, that's why I don't like if I use soul rend when I'm like in a dungeon or something. I try and get like position myself to where like I'm in the doorway. Oh, nice. Ooh, RNG. Yeah, lay down. Yeah. Damn. What up, bro? No, I'm talking on the PlayStation, bro. Lay down. Damn coffee.
What do you need now?
Oh, you be drinking beer? Ugh. I'm good on beer. Alright. Where you at, bro? Oh shit, I better see where I'm at, what I'm doing. Alright. Yo, I got some swords I want you to look at. Give me just 1 second, I'm about to... Yeah, I saw you were online, so I jumped in the game and like jumped in your session, saw you just sitting there. I was like running circles around you for a minute, and then I was just like, oh man, he must be out doing something, passed out or whatever. As you want, yeah. Alright, where you at? Oh damn. Yo, you see this? You see this thing that I'm shooting out, bro? This shit is like chaos damage. Straight murders everybody. Yeah. Yo, I'll give you a. We'll go to this. I'll go to the shop and just pick a jewel up for you and give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, I was just saying, like, in all seriousness, they're not gonna do that unless people like just keep fucking around and not paying attention. Like, you know, ah ha ha, whatever. This is a joke. And what, like right now, like the government. Oh, bro, it's gonna be more than that. Nah, this ain't it. Nah, bro, this ain't even bad. Yeah, even Dr. Fauci was saying, he's like, we don't fully understand. Like, some people, it's like it doesn't gives just gives them mild symptoms and it's not that bad, and other people, like who are healthy, it's like they're fighting for their life and they don't have, they're not autoimmune. They're totally normal people. Oh man, parents yo, they was just telling. Yeah, see, that's where, like, if it gets bad enough, like, you know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, no. I mean, we're still in the low end of it. Like, those numbers he's projecting are probably gonna honestly see. My thoughts are, well, I'm thinking about it's gonna be between 250, 750,000 people. Oh yeah.
Yes?
All right, before you go running off, I got some stuff for you to look at. Yeah, no, like, I told my buddy, like, I was trying to tell my bro, I was like, yo, this is more serious than what you're taking. And he's like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. I was like, bro, it's a big deal. I was like, think about it in these terms. Like, how would you feel if your mom got sick and passed away, or your dad got sick and passed away from coronavirus? And I was like, yo, yeah. And I told him, I was like, think about your girl, man. What if your girl got the coronavirus and died? And he was just like, I can't even. He's like, no, we're not even. That's not even a possibility. It can't happen. I was like, bro, see, you. Oh yeah, yeah. He was. I asked him if he's able to accept those truths. Like, I'm like, you know, you just keep blowing it off like it's no big deal. But I was like, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Well, they're not doing that in Mattoon. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I gotta add this. Yeah, nah, bro. Like, as far as like mandatory, like they would have to do that if like people keep fucking around and they got, you know what I mean? Like they'll make it mandatory if it was like, if it gets bad enough to where like, you know, like in Italy where they're like, yo, we gotta pick and choose who is dying, and also with that being said, you know, meeting the FDA requirements and guidelines, and then you know you still have 6 to 8 months of testing, and you know. So it just doesn't sound good when you really say it out loud. Yo, man, I can't. I know, man. I argue with people on like Facebook, and I like one person. I was like, "Yo, you got a brand new baby." I was like, you're talking pretty bold about like you don't care." I know, and I told him I was like, "Yo, you're acting pretty bold," and I hate to say this, but yo, do you ever think about your child? You talking about this? I don't care about coronavirus, and it's all a hoax. Okay, so what happens if you get coronavirus and your baby gets sick and dies? How would you feel? You know what I mean? And then like they just don't give me no response, and I'm like, that must really hit home for you because you don't have nothing to say. You just leave that alone, and now you want to shut up. It's like, yeah, all you guys act tough until you bring your kids involved into it, or to your parents and your mom and your dad and your grandparents, and you're like, think about that. Think about your mom and dad. Think about your children. You know, it's. I know, and I'm like, I was trying to tell him, it's like, it's one thing if it was like, you know, a bad guy or some gangster you could see who's like, then you'd be like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna defend myself. I'm not gonna let that happen. But like, you just because you don't see it. Oh, bro, yeah, bro. As soon as that shit dropped, man, I started watching this virologist over in like the UK, or not the UK. Hold on, I want to look at my YouTube. Well, anyways, like I started watching it like when they were like, hey, it just hit over it. They found a case outside of Wuhan, and I'm like, oh shit, this ain't good. So like I've been tracking it then and telling people, I'm like, it's serious. I was telling my buddy, I'm like, bro, it's serious, and he still is like, yeah, whatever. And it blows my mind. This dude is smart, like super smart, and like he knows like lots of medical stuff too. You know, he does like all sorts of stuff, trades, and you know things that take lots of intellect and whatnot. And then like here I am like back in January, no, November, yeah, like right around November, December, we're like having these talks and discussions, and I'm like trying to tell him like, bro, this is like for real, legit, like you should worry. And he's like, nah, this ain't nothing. you know, the flu's a bigger deal, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't understand why you're not seeing it as a big deal. He's like, nah, it'll never be here in the United States. Shows up in the United States. Oh, bro, it's not a big deal. The flu kills more people. And then, like, the next time I saw him, he's like, well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. I'm just saying, like, you gotta wash your hands and, you know, like, oh, yeah. And I, well, you gotta, Johnny, the thing, yeah, so, well, wait. Okay, I got you, bro. So check it out. The flu has, listen, I know, but listen, hold on, I'm gonna break it down to you why this is such a big deal. Okay, so usually, no, it's not even that. It's, so, yeah, so, well, so there's actually there's two ways that we combat the regular flu, and that's through, the general idea is herd immunity, but what it is so there are two factors going on at this point in time. The first one is some people go out and get the flu shot, and then the flu, right, so that's the first part, and then the second, so that's the first part, and then the second part actually is the flu is actually like an all year round thing, and some people actually get the flu and then so they're already built an immunity, and then you get a weaker version of the flu, and so those people get shots, and then with that combined together, there should be enough people that have the immunity that it doesn't spread. Plus the let me look at what it was called, the okay, so the other thing is you look at the transmission factor of the flu. The flu is rated at like a point, is at like a 1.3 for transmission factor. So with that being said, like they do a 10-round simulation, and like after 10 rounds of 1.3 people being affected or infected, after 10 rounds, like 56 people get infected, whereas coronavirus has a transmission factor of like between 2.2 and 2.6 people per every one person. So one person is going to infect at least on average 2.5 people, if not 3. So after 10 rounds through a like a 6 simulation where they show one person, introduce them into the numbers, the transmission factor, and then do that for 10 rounds, the amount of people infected after 10 rounds is around 3,556 people. uh, uh, well, 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 right. Well, see, and part of that is like the incubation period. Like I was telling the kids, like before all these videos and stuff came out, I was like, yo, when you get the flu, you know you have the flu within 24 to at latest or at most usually is like 72 hours it's going to take you, 1 to 3 days, and within that time period you have a small window for an incubation period, and you know to quarantine yourself, like, hey, I'm sick as fuck, I got the flu, so everyone stay away from me for like 24 to 72 hours. But coronavirus has a 10 to 12 day incubation period of no signs or symptoms, and the fact that we don't understand why or how the mechanics of the coronavirus works as far as like who it picks and chooses. We just have the same understanding as far as like the flu goes. Like we're like, all right, people that are immunosuppressed and elderly and young kids, we need to make sure that they don't get it, because that's the general guidelines for all diseases, bacteria, and viruses. But like Dr. Fauci was saying, what was it, last night I was watching, he was saying the problem is that this is not like the normal virus. It doesn't. We don't understand why it picks and chooses. Some people it doesn't affect whatsoever. They might have mild symptoms, and other people are on respirators fighting for their lives. So and well, but like I said, well, see, and that's well that, but see, like I said, that. But we don't have we don't have as a general whole, as the entirety of the world, we do not have enough people who have built antibodies to have herd immunity. That's why like it's such a big deal. No, not everybody. Just like a no. And if a no, man, I'm telling you, because like when I had to go through, well, there. Well, it's look. You gotta understand though. Is like I said, it's the big worry is like the transmission factor. Is that it takes so long and the incubation is so long. And yes, okay, so yeah, there are many coronavirus. And as far as like major, like this is actually novella corona 2019 SARS 2. So you know that's what I'm saying. But see, like people forget, like as this keeps going and progresses, and even Dr. Fauci hasn't said anything about it, and I'm waiting to hear it. Is that the longer we go without natural general immunity to this, and as it keeps going, bro, like eventually it's gonna mutate. It's just a matter of time. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I am telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Well, the yeah, yeah. You're getting a weakened you're getting a weakened form of the virus. You're not getting like a full the idea is that yes, you're going to get sick, but you'll be less sick and then you'll build up antibodies. I'm telling mutation. Yeah, it's mutation, literally, legit. No, I'm telling you, it's just small. Like you think of mutations as something minor, but it can be literally something minute, super small. A small change in the genetic coding could make it something entirely different. Never say never. So, well, so I was gonna, so what I was gonna tell you, Johnny, is like, the idea, like you were saying, like they give everybody shots. That's not the case. Like they have to think about it case by case. Cause like, okay, so when I was in the army, I had to get smallpox, and they're like, they give you a list. Like, if you have any of these things wrong with you, you can't get smallpox. And like, I had to go talk to a doctor about it, and I was like, so what is this? And I got a waiver. They're like, this kid can't get a smallpox shot. It could kill him or worse. So I had to talk to a doctor and get counseling. I was like, all right, so what does this mean? Like, if I'm out in the battlefield, and for whatever reason, like some not Iraqi, sorry, but some terrorist has like a biological weapon, we find out it's smallpox, and I was to be involved in that. And he's like, well, honestly, we'd have to evaluate your situation, because when I was in high school, like, I got sick. I got shingles. I don't even know how, but I got shingles. And one of the things for smallpox in the military is like you have to, if you had shingles, they won't give you the smallpox. So, like, but the idea, what you're saying, like, there should, like, if that happened and a group of soldiers who have all had smallpox vaccine, that they would be okay, and because they're okay and their body fights off the infection, the smallpox, and is able to shorten the transmission time, that potentially in the idea would keep me safe. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. Like, so as far as like I mean, like I said, it's a race of time. It's how many people can recover, and can they and this is where I was talking to my friend, like, so it's not even like the mutation or anything. Like, I was watching, and they were saying, like, what happens when those people who have got it and recovered, but what happens if it comes back? Are they going to feel less of effects, or is it going to be exactly the same, just maybe a shorter time frame? So it's like a lot of unknown questions that we don't know. I get it. Like, it's just that it's such a devastating, it's such a sad time. Well, I just tell people, I'm like, I'm used to, like, I was in a military. Well, I was in a biological unit. Like, we prepared for this stuff all the time when I was doing military drills, like when I first got in. So like, this is no big deal I mean, yes, it's a big deal. I'm taking it very serious, precautions and all that, but like, as far as staying in your house and understanding all the what's going on and the seriousness of the situation, and also like going out and, like I said, as soon as I heard that was going on in China, I was on it, seeing what was going on. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I mean, I get it. Like human art, it's depressing to have the same kind of news every day. To, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're not losing this battle right now, and it's like people are like, oh, but all these people are recovered. And I saw a report this morning, like from over in the European Union, they were talking about how, like, yes, China's having recovery, but they're seeing, like, and you know how I saw it on Facebook, people are like, oh, it's not a big deal, they're opening up the borders again and things are returning back to normal in China. Yes and no. Like, they're starting to see coronavirus again, but it's a community based from travel, because like I said, 10 to 12 days no one shows signs and symptoms. So, like, taking the temperature is only good to know people who are showing the signs and symptoms. So for 12 days, they've been incubating, and like, they're in this discussion about when the virus is at its highest viral shedding point, which is probably around 3 to 5 days, where it's the highest. Where you're going to put out the most, you're releasing the most of that virus into the air, or whatever you touch, you know, whatever's going on in your immediate surroundings. So, I mean, that's scary shit, you know, the fact that we can't even know fully unless a person is showing the signs and symptoms. And by then, you're already a 10 to 12 day mark, and you've got another, you know, 3 to 4 to go. You know, so it's... Yeah, that was influenza B. My girlfriend's daughter's friend had it. She, like, got sick, and what really sucked for her was, like, I remember she got it and was out of school for like a week, came back to school for like a few days, and then ended up with influenza B again. Yeah. But I mean, and that just, yeah, there are different types of influenzas, and the idea, like, I'll have to look it up and review over it again. But the idea is, like, yeah, if you give people a majority of, like, they have an idea of what the flu is going to be from the previous year, and like I said, there's going to be small, minute changes, and if they can give you that, you know, flu, that virus, you know, the weakened version, the idea is that, like, it's just gonna, you may still get sick, yes, like Tony's mom gets sick, but there are outside factors with that too as well. Like when you get your flu shot, or any shot for that matter, are you a smoker? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you already have a compromised immune system? Do you what's your diet like? Are you a hydrated person? Are you know do you drink? Well, no, I'm just saying, but like I was saying, like, I never realized until, like, I used to always get sick when I smoked cigarettes, and I always had this cough, you know, a smoker's cough, and then like, when I was in the military, I noticed I would get the flu shot, and when I would get the flu shot, when I smoked, I would get sick. I would always get sick. But then, like, when I finally gave up smoking and quit, and, like, I still had to get mandatory flu shots and stuff. After that, I didn't get sick at all. Like, I'm trying to think. I've probably been sick maybe like a few times in the last, like, 4 or 5 years. Maybe like 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and also with that said, like, you have to think. I have to think about, like, my behaviors and habits. I don't go out to the bars. I'm not hanging around sick people for the most part. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, you're thinking about this quarantine in the wrong way. Like, we're not doing anything really much different than what we were, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about all those times you're talking about, like, you ain't getting sick, and here we're talking about not going to the bar, you ain't trying to be like those people out on the beach, you know what I mean? Like, it. That's what I'm saying. Like, think about Slade. If he goes, hangs out with 20 people, and he was sick, had coronavirus, and he hangs out with 20 people, and so that's definitely more than the 3 people that, on average, a person would infect. So, like, Slade is someone who's very super social. So you think about it. If he, with one sitting, infects 20 people, and we take those 20 people and multiply it just one round, we'll say 20 times 3, sorry, 2.6. That means those 20 people have just infected 52 people. Like, each individual. It's just, that's what I'm saying, like. Yeah, nah. Like, I, t- I told my girl was talking about, like, getting, a job, because, like, she can't work right now. I was like, girl, look, I just got my tax money, and, like, yo, we ain't going, like, I'm not trying to have you go to work. I just want you to hang out and chill. Like, we just be smart with our money. We're not going out to eat. We go out buy groceries like once a week, you know, freaking eat at home. I play video games, sit outside with my dog. You know, you know what I mean? It's just, like, in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, me and my girl ate out a lot. Like, she was calling, like, Jimmy John's, like, every other day. But, like, at once, because she, you know what I mean? Like, we thought it was gonna be, like, a couple weeks. And I was saying, I'm like, I don't think it will, because, like, we seen these people just fucking blowing that shit off. And then, sure enough. That's right. I showed her. I was like, "Yo, I know I'm not seeing us on Facebook. A live feed, all them people just out on the beach chilling." And then, like, a couple days later, I'm. For me, man, my big thing right now is like, I mean, I'm not too worried about it just because where we live. I mean, it's like more or less strangers, but like, yo, like I've already had people asking me, they're like, yo, where are you from? I'm like, what the fuck does that matter, bro? It's like, I'm like, bro, what's that? Like, yeah, I'm not, I shit you not. Why was at the grocery store? This Walmart lady was like asking me straight up. She's like, where are you from? And I'm like, uh, shit. Like, she's like, yo, can I guess? And I'm like, I mean, if you really feel you need to like discuss my ethnicity right now, go for it. You know, she's like I could tell she wanted to say, I was waiting for it, but she's like, are you Japanese? I'm like, no, I'm Korean. And then instantly she's like, oh, are you North Korean? And then she's like, yo, are you related to Kim Jong-un? I'm like, no. No, I'm from South Korea. I was just like trying to be cool. I'm like, I don't need some shit to pop off, and then like, I wonder who it was. Yeah, that's some bullshit. I, I just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't think about it like as a big deal, and then when I read that article like about some dude stabbing like an Asian family and that little baby, like, bro, what the fuck? It's like, all right, that's what's up. Like, at least like, oh, I know, man. That's what. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I couldn't. It's crazy, bro. It's just like I just can't believe it. Like, and then I saw on the news that train engineer, that conductor, he fucking tried to drive a train into a fucking into the boat, in that medical boat. Like, bro, what is you doing? Yeah, I shit you not. Like, hold on, let me see where it was at. I can't. I think it said it was in Chicago. Hold up, for real, for real, for real. Like, this happened today, or was it yesterday? Hold on, let me look it up. Train derailment. It literally happened because I was like, oh snap, what happened? Some dude. Oh yeah, over in LA. Hold up, I got you, man. I'm gonna read this to you. Alright, so this dude. Okay, yeah, the FBI is they're accused of intentional derailing. Okay, so this dude is Eduardo Moreno. He's 44, San Pedro. He got charged with deliberately wrecking a train during the incident. It happened Tuesday. And a fuel leak. Yeah, okay, so it says, prosecutor said Moreno admitted during an interview that he had run the train beyond the track because he believed the Mercy was part of suspicious activities involving the coronavirus. Like, I know he's like huge. This guy Moreno is into conspiracy theories, and he was talking about like why he wanted to run the train into um the hospital. He said that, like, he wanted to well, he wants to. Well, he wanted to prove to the world. Right? Yeah. See, to you and me, we're like, okay, like, what's the chances of? Yeah, but I mean, the idea that, to run a train into a hospital is utterly insane, and to think that uh to think that the government would go out of its way to lie and be like it's a hospital, but it's really not. Like, dude, we're in a dire situation. Like, if this is a conspiracy. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if it really was a conspiracy theory, like, yes, it would be bad. Eventually, it would get out, but, like, oh, come on, Watergate. Look at. Sure. Uh, just don't. See, like, I don't know, man. I feel kind of up in the air about this whole. Like, my buddy is convinced. He's like, yo, this is a government conspiracy. The government created this and all that. And I told him, I'm like, look, it's not far-fetched, but it's hard to believe. But the thing about it is, I told him, is that you have to look at, like, oh yeah, you're good. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. So the idea, I told him, I was like, did we even consider like the conditions of the wet markets? That's something you and me haven't even seen. So I like looked it up on YouTube, and I was like, yo, look at these conditions, like just showing you, like these are not healthy standards in practice. And then I was kind of looking, and I was like, what kind of effects and things can happen, and they talked about like transmission of diseases and like fecal matter being transferred from animal to animal, because like the way they stack animals. And I've seen like both like the fish markets and also like where they sell the weird stuff too as well, and I'm not saying that's specific to Wuhan or to any particular place, as far as like when I started watching them in the beginning. And then it was like, well, if Asia has this general, like, they all may do things in a similar fashion. So I'm not saying if one does it, they all do it, or it's the exact same, but I feel that like their wet markets may be similar. Um, yeah, and okay, so with that being said, like I watched this thing about how like the transference of a virus jumping from one animal to another. Like they're called zoonotic diseases, and so that's what like SARS is, coronavirus, MERS, all that stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, so, and, the big thing is, like, I just watched a thing on bats the other day, and, like, I did not realize that bats are unique, their immune systems are unique, and, well, so, they were talking about yeah, they can be carriers for a lot of things, and they said what makes them so unique is that when as bats and being mammals, they don't glide. They actually fly, like fly. And so this guy was talking about what happens when they fly, how their body changes the uh, the metabolic cellular structure, and I'm probably not saying this correctly. You know, I'm not an expert, but they were talking about how the process ramps up the metabolism in the cells so that way they can fly. And anyways, they were talking about how the immune system is tied into that and what makes them so unique, and then like how the possibility of transference of disease and why we're at where we're at now. And they go through like other diseases and viruses bats have carried, and that we've come and dealt with before in the past as well. So that was kind of, for me, really interesting. I was like, oh, okay, so this is a possibility, you know, and, you know, taking that into consideration with the bats, and then, like I said, talking about the standards, practices, and conditions of, like, the wet markets over there, and then learning about the transmission factor and zoonotic diseases and how those work and everything, you know, just reading all this stuff, it's like, okay, so this isn't far-fetched. And, you know, like I told my buddy, I was like, bro, you got to go out there and, like, look it up, educate yourself. You can't just go off of one person, like, you know, and that's why I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, from what I was seeing, this is going to be a lot worse. But the other thing was, like, my big argument with them was, so take away the virus, you know, we're not talking about coronavirus, but talking about the logistics of trying to work in manpower, inventory, also labor, you know, because if our big thing right now, as far as what we've seen on the news, is PPE, so personal protective equipment, we're like coming up short. And then the other one is ventilators. So, oh, nice. Well, I was telling people a long time ago, before all the mask hysteria hit, I was like, yo, M95 masks. I watched this virologist talk about it. Those masks ain't good. Yo, I just watched a whole thing on what has just sprung up, a black market for masks and like ventilators and shit. I shit you not. Yo, this nurse was talking about he paid $20 a box for fucking gloves and and masks. Dude, $20. This nurse, bro. Bro, it was hard. I would, man, I tell you, it's crazy. Yeah, so okay, so in this video they're talking about the logistics of what's going on. And so what they were talking about, lay down, Daryl. Look, Xerxes is laying down, you can lay your ass down too. Sorry about that. Anyways, so what they were talking about was the not the national stock as far as the United States. They do get into that, but what they were really talking about was the world stock. Like, the World Health Organization keeps a national stock inventory list of like critically needed items, like in case of what we're going through right now. And they were talking about what's on hand in the world, what's needed, and then they talk about where the United States is in the logistical queue of getting ventilators, masks, and things of those nature. Like, yeah, masks aren't going to be as hard so long as like hoarding doesn't happen and we follow the policies and procedures of, you know, stay at home, self-quarantine, all that. But they were talking about the big one for them they discussed was ventilators. And, you know, the big argument was there's a wartime act that Donald Trump could enact, and it would help out major businesses. So the big thing is, yes, GM, Ford, all these other companies have pledged to help build ventilators, masks, things like that. And masks are fine, you know, those aren't very hard. But when it comes to ventilators, the problems are like GM, Ford, things like that. They were talking about what really will probably happen is they will just make smaller parts that have to go to the major companies who build the ventilators so they can build them, because it takes many years for a ventilator to be built, in the sense of when you build a ventilator, it still has to go through product testing to make sure that ventilator can do its functions properly. And the big ones, the most important that and people haven't really discussed is the sensors that go in and make sure that the ventilator is not putting too much pressure within your lungs to, you know, explode your lungs. And the other one is to make sure that you're getting the proper amount of oxygen. This engineer was talking about how hard it's actually going to be to make ventilators. Like, for all these companies who are like, we pledge we're going to help. And he's like, this is really what's going to happen. They're going to make the smaller parts, the parts that they need to help make the ventilators. And then the companies who make those ventilators will make them. And then he broke down, like, what the problem is going to be is, like, to build those ventilators takes lots and lots of manpower and lots of hours. And so he's like, the problem is, if say we have a breakdown and coronavirus gets worse, or we get hit with something else, we may lose manpower, so we may not have enough logistical manpower to make these items. And then there's the question of cost. What is the cost going to be? And then the second part of that with the cost is on the end of hospitals, is how many ventilators do you buy? And then say you have no use for them, nobody gets sick and all this blows over, and you just blew, you know, $100 million. Now you bankrupted your hospital and now you have to close. Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, this is right. These are unanswered logistical questions. So, like, everybody's focusing on the coronavirus in the sense of I try to explain all this stuff to my friends. I'm like, bro, like, you're lucky. Like, someone like me, I'm going out and I'm looking at this stuff and trying to tell you, like, no bullshit. I'm not trying to sway you to vote for Trump or freaking Joe Biden or anybody. I'm just trying to help you out and tell you what's going on. I'm not trying to stack your fears. I'm not trying to, you know, make you worry. I just want to give you adequate knowledge and information about what's going on, because a lot of people blow this off. And like I said, ever since I first heard about the reporting of coronavirus. I've been on it, and people took me as a joke, and you know, and I keep trying to tell people, I'm like, listen, I know you have this look, you're like, oh man, China's better and already, and everything's great and all this and that, and it's nothing to worry about. Like, yeah, well, we're not in China, we aren't these other countries, we are not South Korea. You know, this it's kind of crazy because like they were talking, this guy was like, you know, how crazy is this? We, South Korea and the United States, had the same exact time for when the first coronavirus was reported, and as soon as they got the report, South Korea, they jumped right on it. And notice they don't have a problem, but when you look at our numbers of cases of infected and dying, or you know, that have passed, compared to South Korea's, it's like this guy was talking about it. He's like, you can see what happened. I mean, and yep, yep. Yup, and that's how my buddy was. He was like, whatever, man, like Donald Trump ain't freaking out about it, so why should I? And I'm like, bro, this isn't about your presidency. I try to tell. They think 60% of the world is going to end up being infected, so I don't want to get sick, period. What's that, babe? Oh, yeah, I'll be less loud.
God has charged me with your redemption. You are here by Exile to where it is hoped you shall come to repent your sins and make your peace with your God.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yup. Yup. What's that, kiddo?
It's nighttime, they're drinking it.
Oh. Oh, yeah, dang it.
Jamie, I have the lightsaber.
What do you want?
Light.
Oh shit, oh shit. Hell yeah, I just said that. That means they're gonna throw another update in. Oh yeah, whatever.
Yes?
Oh, you want me to read?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read to you.
You have to get off the video game.
Oh, you're gonna make me get off the video games?
Yeah.
What? I haven't played video games in like a couple days. Alright, that's fine. I'll get off the video games.
It's nighttime.
I know. Well, that's when my friends get off their jobs. They work in the day. So the only time I get to hang out with them is in night.
Then why not you hang out with them at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Well, okay. Some of them do hang out at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I can't be up at 1 o'clock in the morning. You get up early. I gotta make sure you have breakfast.
You get up earlier than me.
You want breakfast, right? In the morning?
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on, Jeremy.
Okay, look. I'm gonna tell my friends goodbye.
Let me tell them.
Okay, you wanna tell them bye?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Jeremy's leaving because he's done with playing video games. Because I want him to read. No more.
Alright, bro.